multi-step inequalities. Multi-step means you're going to have to do a whole bunch of steps, multiple things in order to isolate that variable. The first thing you always do is turn to plus a negative. Or change sign is what I think your purple piece of paper says. Oh, it says rewrite. So switching subtraction signs to plus a negative. Very, very important. Then you distribute. Then you combine like terms on the same side. Let's write an example.
Yay.
I'm going to move this over a little bit. Shoot. When you combine like terms on the same side, what I need you to realize is you don't do that inverse operation, and that's what a lot of kids think you do. You only do the inverse when you're doing it to both sides of the equal sign or the inequality symbol. So here you would just normal combine. 3 and 9 would be 12x plus 9 is smaller than or equal to 5. So just so you know, this third step is not the opposite. And I don't know if you put that in your purple sheet, but it's good to know because a lot of kids think they need to subtract 9x or 3x or something like that. Then you move, you move the variable to one side of the inequality.
Go down.
And then you solve. But look at what you have to be careful for. You have to be careful about flipping now. Remember, you flip if the last thing you do is multiply or divide by a negative. We flip it. M, D, and F. If we multiply or divide by a negative number in the end, you have to flip. All right, so we will go ahead and solve a few problems. This doesn't look too bad. Okay, so I'm just following my steps. Rewrite. Do I need to plus? I don't need a plus or negative anywhere. I do need to distribute. So that would be 3x plus 12 is bigger than or equal to 36. And then I see if I can combine like terms on the same side. Nothing on the left side, nothing on the right side. So now I don't need to move my variable to one point, so I just need to normal solve. So subtract 12, subtract 12. 3x is bigger than or equal to something. 24. X is bigger than or equal to 8.
That's correct.
Not sure if you have to graph this.
We should.
But, well, we'll see. I don't know right at this time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But it would be a colored in circle at 8 going to the right. Okay, here I do have to rewrite. So I turn a plus a negative. Distribute. 12x plus a negative 8 is smaller than 5. Okay, now I got to move this negative 8. How do you move it? Yep, I'm going to add 8. So add 8, add 8. 12x is smaller than 13. And I bet you I know what. If you were doing this independently, you'd probably think, oh man, I must have did something wrong. It's going to be a fraction. That's okay. Trust your algebra. Divide by 12, divide by 12. X is smaller than 13 over 12. And that's it. We won't graph. Okay. I guess I'm going to graph it. 0, 1, 2.
Graph. Okay, I guess.
I had an internal struggle there. And I'm going to graph it. This is just a little bit bigger than 1. It's 1 and 1, 12. So I would make a circle a little bit bigger than 1, and then I would go to the left. Notice that I did not have to flip anything yet because the last thing I did was not multiply or divide by a negative number. Okay, I know I'm going to flip here. I can already see it. And you'll find the more you do these inequalities, you'll identify right away like, oh, I'm going to have to flip this one. And that way it will help you keep that in track. Notice I did step 1, which was rewrite. I turned a plus a negative. Now I'm doing step 2, I'm distributing. Negative 8x plus 40 is less than 28.
Plus 40.
20 plus 20. Oopsie. I thought, so negative 4 times negative 5 is 20, not 40.
Still use.
Okay? And then I'll minus 20. Minus 20. Negative 8x is smaller than 8. And still, about 4 times in my brain, I've been saying I gotta flip this thing, and I have to flip it because now I am going to divide by a negative. And remember, when you divide by a negative, it made it a false statement. So we need to turn it back into a true statement. X is bigger than negative 1. I flipped it. I MDNF'd it.
You min-diffed it.
And then you would graph it, and I would have open circle going to the right. Am I going to flip this one? Can you identify if I would flip
Yes.
this one? You'll always know if you flip it if the coefficient is negative. So if whatever is sticking to the x is a negative number, you're going to end up flipping. This would be negative 10x plus a negative 10 is bigger than or equal to 12. I'll plus 10 to both sides. And then I get negative 10x is bigger than or equal to 22. Now I'm dividing by negative, so dividing by negative I have to flip because it would turn into a false statement. So x is smaller than or equal to a negative 22 tenths, which is a negative 11 fifths. Okay. The biggest thing I'm going to be looking for, are you flipping and are you following this? Are you not shutting down when you see a long problem? This you shouldn't shut down. This isn't bad. It's when it's a super long problem, that's when kids decide they want to shut down, but you got to tackle it. You got to face those problems.
Just when I stop.
Okay, moving on. And I'm just gonna do the bottom ones.
Oh my god.
Since we did, the front page was a little bit,
Can we do the first one instead?
no, I want to do the bottom ones. So, step 1, turn everything to plus and negative. Can't do it. Step 2, and I'm just following my sheet. Step 2, distribute. Do I need to distribute?
No.
No. Okay, so I'm moving to step 3. Simplify / add like terms on the same side. So I have a left side and I have a right side. So I need to combine my left side. 4 and negative 9 is what? What's 4 and negative 9? Thank you, but I need more people to participate. That's negative 5x plus a negative 5 is bigger than 2x plus 1. You see what I did? I combined my 4 and negative 9 and got negative 5x. Okay, the next thing is step 4. It says variables. So move the variable to one side. So what I would do is move your smallest variable. So my smallest variable is the negative 5. So I will move my negative 5x over to the other side. That's when you do the opposite, the inverse. Notice that the first one, we didn't. It's when you go to the other side. And then you get negative 5 is bigger than 7x plus 1. Now I'm not going to have to flip. If I would have moved my 2x, you can still. It would give you the same answer, but you'd have to flip in the end because it would be a negative 7 in front of the x. Now I'll move my 1. And you get negative 6 is bigger than 7x. Move your 7. Negative 6 over 7 is bigger than x. Which means x is smaller than negative 6 over 7. That's how I would say it for corrections. If negative 6 over 7 is bigger, then x is smaller. Okay. Next one. I'm just going back to step 1. Change signs, rewrite. Plus a negative. So plus a negative. Plus a negative. That's all I can do. Step number 2, you should be writing, everyone should be writing this down. Step number 2 is distribute. So now it's going to be negative 8k plus 12, right? Because negative 4 times negative 3 is a positive 12. Plus 3k is smaller than 5 plus a negative 3k. I did not love, it still looks really messy, but you just slowly work through the steps. Step 3 now, add like terms on the same side. So my left side, yep, I can combine these. Negative 8 and 3 is what? 5k. Negative 5k. Negative 5k plus 12 is smaller than 5 plus a negative 3k. Okay, that's that. And step 4, move variable to one side. The best thing is to move your smallest variable. So I'm going to, negative 5 is smaller than negative 3. So I'm going to add 5k. Whoopsies. So now I have 12 is smaller than 5 plus 2k. Right? Negative 3 and 5 is 2. Positive 2. And then I just solve as normal. Now it's much better. So notice that I didn't shut down. All I did is followed each step through. Divide by 2, divide by 2. 7 halves is smaller than k, but I need to put, I'm not going to correct it that way. I wouldn't say that. So if 7 halves is smaller than k, then k is bigger than 7 halves. And that's my target today for you.